One of the things that in the past, Jill and I used to take the Amish youth to the nursing homes, and they would sing for them, and then afterwards we would visit with the old folks. And of course, Jill, being a native of Salmon, she practically knew everybody that was in that old folks home. And it was always interesting to overhear the conversations, because they would bring up all the things that they did in their youth. And when you go into an old folks home, you see people on walkers, in wheelchairs, they're moving slow. They're not anything impressive. But yet, when you talk to them and you find out what their life was like, you know, some of them were athletes, some of them accomplished great things. You think of that and you think, wow, all of those things that they did. And yet then when I think of what are those worth now that they're old? All those things that they accomplished. And I think of my dad that's in a wheelchair. You know, and when he talks about all the things that he used to do. All the great things that he accomplished. You know, I think about Dick, Janet's husband. He's went around the world, seen things that I never would have seen. He talks of those great things. Yet what are they worth? All of those accolades. You know, I've won the Governor's Award in Idaho for my braiding, and an Academy Award for braiding and that. And I think to myself, what good are those? They're a medallion, they're a plaque you can put on the wall, a trophy you can put on a stand or something. But yet, what are they worth in God's eyes? When you think of all those things that people have accomplished, what are they for towards eternity? What do they do? It tells us in Matthew 6 where it says, lay up your treasures in heaven. Don't store things up on earth. Why? Because the things here on earth are going to pass away. They're going to be eaten up. But those things that are for heaven are going to be eternal. How many things do we put a lot of stock in here on earth? I'll guarantee you, I put a lot of stock in working hard and making money. And you talk to probably 90% of the people in this area, that's what they do. We work hard and we make money. But is that going to get us to heaven? It's not going to get us to heaven at all. A good work ethic, there's nothing wrong with that. But it's not going to get you to heaven. Having a lot of money, it's not going to get you to heaven. You can't buy yourself in. Having all these accolades and that, it's not going to help you get to heaven. What is going to get you to heaven? And of course, these Wednesday nights, tonight was excellent. Repentance, that's going to get you there. But I think of all the things that we do each day. And if you just start in the morning and count up all the things that you do during a day, an 8-hour day or a 12-hour day, as long as you're awake that day, how many of those things are we actually doing for the Lord? Just, if you need to, write them down. How many things are we doing for the Lord, and how many things are we doing for ourselves? Because when you get done with that list, I think you're going to find that the things that you do for yourself is going to be a lot longer than what you do for the Lord. Because generally we think of ourselves first. But yet, we have to live this life, right? When we when we think about all of these things, it's always good that whatever we invest in the Lord will endure forever. If we go to 1 Corinthians 15, verse 58, it says, "Therefore, my dear brothers, stand firm, let nothing move you, always give yourselves fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain." Now it's talking about working there. Having a good work ethic is good. But it says what? Work for the Lord. If that is first and foremost in our mind, that we're not trying to promote ourselves, but to promote the Lord, that's what's going to get us far. It's not going to be in vain. It's not going to be in vain at all. Those things we're investing in heaven. We're investing in that eternal home. Not something here that will be gone. I mean, you can invest in gold, you can invest in the stock market, and all that can change in a moment's notice. And you would have nothing. Your investment will be gone. When we invest in the Lord, that investment is a sure investment. It is being compounded daily. And it's going to be a glorious reward in the end, if we endure to the end. Jill pointed out one verse when she was looking this over here, and it was in Ecclesiastes 12, and I thought it was very appropriate. The last chapter, Ecclesiastes. Verses 13 and 14. Now all has been heard. Here is the conclusion of the matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God will bring every deed into judgment, including every hidden thing, whether it is good or evil. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Fear God and keep His commands, for this is the whole duty of man. The whole duty. I'm going to leave you with that verse tonight, because that is our duty, to fear God and to His commands. So if there's anyone that has a need tonight, let that be known as we stand and sing our closing song.